Dear BSc first semester student, this is the third episode on purification of organic compounds. Today I deal with the subsection of this topic, chromatography. So chromatography is an important biological technique that enables the separation of and identification and purification of component of a mixture of for quantitative and qualitative analysis. A Russian botanist, Michael Sweat, in 1906 phenomenized the process of chromatography, and in 1952 James Martin analyzed the fatty acids mixtures through this chromatographic technique. Now, the principle of chromatography is, it is a method where the analyte is combined with a liquid or gas as a mobile phase, which is pumped through a stationary phase, and thereby the moment of hydrophilic and lyophilic component is separated. And the idea is the two components, stationary and another is mobile phase, are very essential for principle that is chromatographic methods. Now let us see in this next slide that you can see the mixture of substances, yellow, red, pink. If you want to separate them, you will separate them as yellow color, red color and pink color materials. So this separation can be achieved by analysis, identification, part and qualitatively. Here the analysis is a reagent which is added as a material to separate these and identify whether the materials in the mixture are separated or not, and then the path is to be chosen, which is the best path to isolate them, and finally the quantity of isolation is very essential. Now chromatography is basically based on separation of a mixture. The mixture is dissolved in a fluid is called mobile phase, and which carries through the structure holding the another material is called as stationary phase. So mobile phase and stationary phase. Stationary phase is considered to be permanent one and mobile phase is considered to be moving one. So these are the two essential conditions for chromatographic process. Now when you consider the two phases such as stationary phase and mobile phase. In plain chromatography, stationary phase is a standard one which is at a base and mobile phase is a moving one. Similarly, in case of liquid chromatography, the liquid is consisting of the other structural material. They are called as a stationary phases. So the the green color liquid is called as a stationary phase, and the mobile phase is somewhat white color material shown in the liquid chromatography. Then in the gas chromatography, the stationary phase is passed through a gas which is under the process of separation, and that contains the impurities, and depending upon the priority of the mixture, one can separate them. Liquid chromatography, gas chromatography, paper chromatography and thin layer chromatography, these are the few types of chromatographic processes. Now in general, I want to summarize whatever I have discussed. What is chromatography? An effective method of separating complex mixture of substances is called chromatography. Paper chromatography is a common type of chromatography. You can see in the side picture. A chromatographic paper which is attached to a clip is dipped in a beaker containing solvent. A solution of the mixture is dropped at the end of the filter paper is called as the solvent. Generally alcohol plus water is used. When the solvent move across the sample spot of the mixture and partition of the component between the stationary phase and the mobile phase occurs, then we have an equation K is equal to CS divided by Cm. So Cs is the concentration of substance in stationary phase, that is adsorbent, and Kn is the mobile phase eluent, so the moving material. So from the bottom to top, when the material is moving, it is called as the eluent, EULENT, eluent or mobile phase. Now, the first type of separation, that is paper chromatography. In this paper chromatography, we are having the two phases. One is a stationary phase, that is chromatography paper, and another is a mobile phase, a suitable solvent. It may be water, alcohol, or organic solvent like ether, etc. Now, how it separates? As the solvent moves up, the paper, it dissolves the component and move through up the paper, and the more soluble component is, the further it moves better. Now you can see in the first container we are having a paper chromatography which is attached to a clip and dipped in a solution of a solvent like water and alcohol. Right now, and there are two spots I have made. One spot for pure organic compound and another is a mixture of the organic compound. And when it is placed for some time, nearly half an hour or more than that, then you can see in the second plate that the solvent which is present as alcohol or aqueous media is moving slowly. So when it moves slowly, it leaves the impurities at the bottom and the pure component is called as a mobile phase. It moves up. Now you can see the two dots moving slowly, and out of which one is moving very fast at the top and the remaining are at the bottom. The dots which remain at the bottom or in the middle, they are impurities, and the pure component will move up and can be separated, and it is characterized. Okay, so this is paper chromatography. Paper chromatography is a technique that involves placing a small dot or a line of a sample solution on a strip of a chromatographic paper. The paper is placed in a jar containing a layer of solvent and sealed it. As the solvent rises through the paper, it meets the sample mixture, which starts to travel up the paper with the solvent. Now this is another way to represent. Now you can see the chromatography paper is attached through the clip and is dipped in a solvent, and a ink spot is made. That is, a impure organic compound is made as a spot on the chromatography paper and is allowed to run for several minutes. So it is observed that the drop, the ink spot, or the impure component which is present will be at the bottom, and the mobile phase of solvent will take up the compound and move up. So this is the simple chromatographic procedure. Now the second one is thin layer chromatography. Thin layer chromatography involves a stationary phase of silica mounted on a glass plate. Then mobile phase is a suitable organic solvent and separation. Similar technique which is used in the paper chromatography is utilized, and this is similar to the paper chromatography. The limitations are similar. The thin layer chromatography, generally called as TLC, is a widely employed laboratory technique and is similar to that of the paper chromatography. However, instead of using stationary phase of paper, it involves a stationary phase of a thin layer of silica gel. A compound to paper, it has advantage of faster and better separation rather than the paper chromatography. Well, let me explain regarding the thin layer chromatography. You take a plate of nearly the flask size and dipped in a silica gel solution. The silica gel solution is acetone plus silicon. Okay, that mixture is called as a silica gel solution. Now you have to take a plate and dip slowly inside the solution, remove immediately, so that a layer of silica gel is created on the glass plate. Right now, the solvent which is to be taken, like alcohol water mixture or alcohol ethyl acetate, it is placed in this flask. Then now you have to dry the plate and spot the impure organic compound at the bottom, not to at the bottom, near the bottom of this plate, and now allow it to run. So the solvent present at the bottom will move, and along with its movement it will take the pure compound at the top and the impurities are left at the bottom. So the impurities are scratched and removed off, and finally the pure compound which is present at the top of the glass plate will be separated in another paper and is dried, and melting point is to be noted. Now column chromatography. In this column chromatography, let us move this method. It contains a column with a solvent and silica. A drop of mixture placed on the top of the silica. Drops of the mixture are placed on the top of the silica A. This top is open to allow the solvent to flow out. Additional solvent is added on the top of the place. That leaving component travels through the different rate and separates as a B. Batches of the solvent are collected at the bottom C. The solvent in the each batch is evaporated to obtain the compound. So these are the steps. Now in a simple way, let me explain. You have to take a column. For this column chromatography, we need a pipette and burette. A burette is of 50 to 100 cc in centimeter or cc cube, is now filled with a different layers of the columns. The bottom layer consisting of cotton, sand, then silica, again cotton, sand, silica, and at the top the impure mixture is placed. Now we have to see the relative moment of the organic compound which is dissolved in a solvent. Now for example, if you take a mixture of organic compound dissolved in a proper solvent, is shaken properly and added at the top, that is at A end, what happens? The organic compound which is to be separated, it gets dissolved and slowly moves through the column, and the impurities will remain in between the space A and B. And when you add more and more solvent, this is a mobile phase, then what happens? In the mobile phase, the organic pure compound is slowly moves at the bottom. And what about the impurities? The impurities are a little bit high in weight and they are not dissolving in the solvent, they will remain at the top. And there is a stage where at the end, the entire organic compound gets dissolved in the solvent and collected in a receiver. Now here the question is, the collected organic compound along with the phase, mobile phase, is subjected for evaporation. When you evaporate, the solvent acetone will remove off, and at the bottom you will get the pure organic, either it may be solid or liquid, collected at the bottom, and the melting point or boiling point is to be noted. So this is the simple chromatographic technique used for the separation or purification of organic compound. Now, in the column chromatography, the process called adsorption takes place. That is, when the stationary bed is within the tube, adsorptions are packed into the column. This serves as a stationary phase, leaving the open, unrestricted path for the mobile phase in the middle of the test tube. Adsorptions such as silica gel, alumina, charcoal powder, or catalytic calcium hydroxypyrate are used. The sample mixture in a solvent is loaded on the column. The individual components get differently absorbed on the absorbent. The elution is carried out by buffer system, which is the mobile phase. The individual component come out of the column at the different rate, may be collected and separated, identified. Now just let us see the same chromatographic columns already we have seen. So here structure 1, structure 2, structure 3. These are the three different way of how the column works. So the solvent, a mixture of A, B, C, and the pure compound which are separated are shown in first, second, and third. In the first, it is a mixture plus solvent is allowed to flow from the top of the column to bottom. And in the second, the only A plus A and B plus C, they will be in the two different layers. And in the last, A plus B and C. C is the pure component, slowly flows and collected. Thin layer chromatography and paper chromatography, they are very distinctly differ. The principle of the separation is adsorption for thin layer chromatography. The principle of separation is the paper chromatographic method. More amount of substance is required in thin layer chromatography, less amount is required for paper chromatography. Less time is consumed for thin layer and more time is consumed for paper chromatography. TLC plates can be handled in an oven for long time. Paper cannot be used or kept for drying. Separation is more sharp in case of thin layer chromatography. Separation is less sharp in the paper chromatography. Thin layers have physical strength. Ascending technique are preferred for this type. Due to the lack of physical strength in a paper, the descending techniques are used. TLC chromatography are prepared by coating a thin layer of silica gel on glass plate. Here there is no silica gel, directly thin layers, papers are used. TLC corrosion reverse may be based on the glass plate, and here no corrosion for paper chromatography. Application of chromatography. Chromatography technique is used for the separation of amino acids, proteins, carbohydrates. It is also used for analysis of drug, hormones, vitamins. It is helpful for quantitative and qualitative analysis of complex mixtures. The technique is also useful for determination of molecular weight of proteins. So here there are certain uses of applications of the different chromatographic process. For example, liquid chromatography. It is used for purification of water. Gas chromatography in the preparation or identification of purification of drugs. Thin layer chromatography, identification and characterization of organic compound. Paper chromatography, it is rarely used for identification, but best used is a thin layer chromatography. Now let us move to the other part, that is criteria for purity of organic compound. So to find out the criteria for purity of a compound, if the organic compound is said to be pure, then it must have sharp melting point and sharp boiling point. So how the melting point and boiling point of the organic compound is to be determined. For this, let us know what is boiling point. The temperature at which the pressure extended by the surroundings upon a liquid is exactly equal to the pressure exerted by the vapors inside the container, inside the tube, whereby the vapors are generated. The continuous generation of vapor itself indicates the boiling point. For instance, we are using the Thieves tube. Thieves tube is having a side arm containing a rubber cork with a thermometer, and to this thermometer a capillary tube containing organic compound, which is inverted in its position is placed. That means the capillary tube upper end is closed, one end is closed, and it is inverted in a sodium fusion tube in which the organic compound is placed, and then tied to the thermometer and just go on heating. When you start heating, the vapor pressure of the organic liquid becomes equal to the vapor pressure of the atmospheric pressure. Then the vapor starts generated, and these vapors move into the capillary tube and block at the upper end and reverse come back, and slowly the bubbles are forming. So there is a continuous bubbles formation indicates that that is the boiling point of the organic compound. So like this, using this instrument, Thieves tube, one can determine the boiling point of the compound. Similarly, the another important character point of the organic compound is sharp melting point, I have told. So what is melting point? Melting point is a temperature at which organic solid compound becomes liquid on heating. So the temperature at which organic solids are get converted into liquid states, so that temperature is called as the melting point of that compound. Again we have to use the Thieves tube. So Thieves tube is consisting similarly as already I explained in the boiling point, a side arm tube in which a thermometer is placed, And to this thermometer, a capillary tube sealed at one end along with the organic compound is tied, and then a paraffin oil which is present in the Thiel's tube is heated in its side arm. Slowly the temperature increases, and a stage comes when the solid compound present in the capillary tube starts converting into liquid. So at that time the temperature will be at stationary for a certain moment. You have to remove the burner and see the temperature which stands still, and that is the melting point of the compound. So I repeat, when you heat it, the organic solid becomes liquid at a certain temperature, and that temperature will stop at a particular moment, and one has to observe that temperature, and that temperature itself is the melting point of the compound. Friends, the melting point and a boiling point are the two important parameters to say that the given organic compound is pure. If it is impure, you won't get sharp melting point or sharp boiling point. So thank you.